For the visiting Etowah Eagles, here are their starters. Number 2, Kennedy Johnson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the War Lodge here at Sequoyah High School. I am Chase Shafer, coming to you live here from Canton, Georgia. Sitting in the booth with me tonight is my co-host for the evening, Max Swain. Max, how are you this evening?
I'm good, Chase. Excited for a good one here in the War Lodge.
So a little bit of an inter-county matchup here this evening as the Etowah girls have made the trip from Woodstock all the way over here to Canton, Georgia to do battle against our Lady Chiefs. Max, you know, we saw Sequoyah give a really good game to River Ridge up until probably about the fourth quarter. But after that, River Ridge pulled away, so we'll see if Sequoyah can kind of right the ship. They're looking to get on their first winning streak of the year. They won their last two and looking to pick up that third one and get on a little bit of a winning streak.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Chase. We saw last game here in the War Lodge that Blatchford, she seemed to have an off game. A lot of her shots weren't falling, and I'm looking for her to have a big game tonight, 20, 30 points maybe. Looking for big things out of the junior.
So Sequoyah coming in on the back of a two-game win streak, looking to make it 3. Etowah struggling a little bit at 4-7. They're 1-1 in Region 5-7A, and Sequoyah sitting steadily at third in Region 7-6A. We get ready to get underway here from the War Lodge. Sequoyah going to come out with its usual suspects of Rogers, Jackson, Blatchford, Barber, and it looks like Davies going to start tonight as well.
And that's because Amy Singh is injured for the Chiefs, a big loss.
So Singh out tonight for the Lady Chiefs. As we are underway here from the War Lodge. Etowah wins the tip. Johnson takes it at the wing, now sends it back up top for James. Archer kicks it back out top to Edwards. And knocked out of bounds by Susanna Rogers. Inside post look, rattles around, comes back out on the Megan Reed shot. Sequoyah will take over. Here comes Blatchford. Blatchford over to Davies, who finds Jackson in the corner, looks inside to Barber. Jackson fires a long three-pointer that goes off the iron and no good. Inside look for the Eagles. Barber gets a hand on it and Blatchford pokes it away. Blatchford is fouled on the way to the hoop.
And that's good to see early, Chase. Blatchford's aggression going to the goal. That will be good for the Chiefs down the run.
So a minute in, and nobody has scored. Picking up the first foul of the evening is the Etowah Eagles. So Blatchford sinks the first, and it's fitting that she kicks us off offensively here. Blatchford will make both of those free throws. So a minute in, your score 2-0 Sequoyah. Rogers with the steal. Blatchford from the free throw line. It toilet bowls out. Etowah moves up the floor. Side look to Johnson. Off the backboard, no good. Aaron Jackson picks up her first foul of the evening. Megan Reed will head to the free throw line.
He's actually calling Susanna Rogers. I think she came in from the backside. But that Megan Reed is a physical player down low. I'm excited to see a matchup between Reed and Barber. Should be a very interesting matchup throughout the whole night.
So Reed, the sophomore, sinks 1 of 2, and it's a 2-1 game with a minute and a half gone in the first quarter. Blatchford finds Rogers on the wing. Jackson Back to Blatchford, now over to Davies. Etowah doing a very good job of keeping Sequoyah from getting good looks. Jackson fires up a three that's no good. Nice rebound by Barber. She puts it back out to Blatchford. Blatchford fires a three-pointer and drains it down the hole.
But Chase, just like you were saying, for the first half of that possession, Etowah was having lockdown defense. Sequoyah couldn't get anything going.
Trap. And Sequoyah able to force a turnover. Jackson drives to the basket and lays it up and in. And our first timeout with 5:46 left to go in the first quarter. Sequoyah on top of Etowah, 7-1.
Yeah, that, as I was saying, that defensive performance for like the first half of that possession was really impressive by Etowah, but that's not where you have your doubts if you're an Eagles fan. It's their offense who has only scored 40 points a game. Their defense has no problem. It's their offense that they need to find some sort of solution.
So the lone scorer for the Etowah Eagles is Megan Reed, the sophomore forward. Be number 30 for those of you watching at home. Thank you for joining us, by the way, on Chiefs TV. For those of you watching from the comfort of your own homes, it's a perfect night for basketball here inside the War Lodge. Blatchford with some contact trying to get to the basketball. Etowah recovers. Reed kicks it back out to the top of the key to Kennedy Johnson. Johnson looks inside. It's not there. Stolen by Barber, who pushes it ahead for Blatchford. Blatchford tries to go to the basket, kicks it out to a wide open Aaron Jackson. Oh, and it teases and goes out. Jackson having a hard time from the three-point line at the beginning of this game, and a foul going to the basket as Archer, the shooter for Etowah, will go to the line.
And if you're an Etowah fan, I think that's how you want the game to go out. You want Etowah to have a bunch of fast break points to get back into this game, honestly. Only down by 6, but it's been Sequoyah from the start.
So Davis, the freshman guard, checks in for the Lady Eagles. 5:03 left to go in the first quarter, still 7-1 Chiefs. And the second free throw by Becca Archer, the senior, is good. That pulls Etowah back to within 5. Blatchford finds Rogers, who finds Davies. Now Jackson in the corner. Jackson finds Blatchford at the high post. Rogers going to drive to the lane with a nice layup, and it drops in. Barber getting in with Archer right in the paint. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Chiefs. So with a 9-2 lead, they'll get the ball back with 4:35 left to go in the first quarter.
The Chiefs are being aggressive with their full court press. And Etowah has broken it 2 times in a row. They've gotten it down to the block, but Barber has seen it 2 times in a row and stolen it 2 times in a row.
The freshman Abdusalam checking in for the first time tonight. Jackson going to try one more time from 3, and that one goes in. So finally, Jackson finds that elusive three-pointer and pushes this to a double-digit lead for the Chiefs. And Johnson's pass intended for Archer sails over her head and out of bounds. And Sequoyah with another opportunity to stretch the lead. On the floor for Sequoyah. Gaddis, Blatchford, Rogers, Abdusalam, and Jackson, and Rogers fires up a 3, no good. Turnover on their own side of the court for Etowah.
No one was there to help.
in. Rogers misses, but gets it right back off the pass deflection. She'll push it ahead to Blatchford, who lays it up and in. Sequoyah pouring it on here in the first quarter with 3:23 left to go and a 14-2 lead. Gaddis takes the errant pass intended for Davis, and she'll just leave it for Rogers. Rogers finds Jackson at the free throw line, and Jackson drives in and lays it off the glass and in.
And Sequoiah's shots are falling. They are going in a large amount in a row.
So timeout, Etowah. Your score with 2:54 left to go in the first quarter. Sequoyah 16, Etowah 2. Max, not a whole lot to say about this one. Sequoyah seems to be in control early.
Yeah, that was a big run right there, and that has to knock down Etowah's momentum at least some. And it's early in this one. They obviously have a chance to come back. It's only the first quarter, heck. But their offense hasn't shown many good signs, and the press by Sequoyah, man, that has been really impressive.
Yeah, we saw on that turnover a few seconds ago that nobody came back to help,
Yeah.
and Sequoyah had swarmed the ball carrier as soon as they brought it in bounds, with 3 people trapping the ball carrier on their own out of bounds line. Turnover, Sequoyah converts it into points. So Sequoyah with the heavy defensive pressure, turning that into points and allowing them to be up to 14 points at the moment.
Yeah, if Cason James doesn't get any help on breaking the press, they're not going to get past half court. Especially with how aggressive this Chiefs defense is playing right now.
So you imagine Coach Yarbrough telling the girls, just keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
As they come back out with that 3/4 court press. Reed doesn't have anyone on her. Ball will be inbounded to Archer, who gets it right back. Archer pushes that ahead to James. Kirsten James, the senior, travels with the basketball as she was trying to find her teammate Jasmine Edwards out on the wing. And Sequoyah gets the ball back with 2:43 left to go in the first. Rogers takes a look at a 3-pointer. That's no good, as it sails out of bounds. James just watched it go out of bounds, so Etowah going to take back over with 2:33 left.
Sorry, Chase. There's been at least 5 times where Sequoyah has swung it over to one side and quickly swung it back to the other, and Rogers or Jackson has been wide open for a 3. That's a hole in that Etowah defense that Sequoyah has obviously found.
Speaking of a hole in the Etowah offense, that press is broken by Etowah momentarily. Reed takes the basketball with a short jumper, bounces off the front of the iron, no good. And Etowah still unable to get anything going offensively. Gaddis at the top of the key. Now back out to Rogers. Rogers finds Gorley. Rogers gets it back in the corner. Nice head fake, shoots a 3-pointer and knocks it down. Oh, she was standing on the line, so it's only 2. But Sequoyah up 18-2 with 1:55 left to go in the opening quarter.
And Chase, Etowah's playing this 1-3-1 zone, and that's not going to work against this Sequoyah offense that is everywhere at every moment. They need to find something new, and it's going to be hard, though, when they have a Sequoyah offense this electric. And defense, man.
Another steal for Sequoyah. 1:38 left to go in the first, 18-2. Gaddis with a nice head fake drives in. Her shot's no good, though. James leads the troops down the floor with the basketball. Reed gets it down in the paint. And a deep 3-pointer, no good by Jasmine Edwards. So Rogers comes back down the floor for Sequoyah, lays it up and no good as it rolls off the front of the rim. And here comes Edwards. Edwards will leave it back for James. Now back to James. Edwards gets it back, 3-pointer from the corner, no good as it was a little to the left. James with the rebound, her shot goes off the back of the rim. As Grace Archer, the senior, tried to fire a 3-pointer from the corner that was a little bit to the left of the rim. 40 seconds left to go now in the opening quarter. Your score, Sequoyah 18, Etowah 2. As the Lady Chiefs working the ball around the perimeter. DeMauro flips it back over to Gaddis. Gaddis gets the ball back after it bounces off the legs of a few Etowah defenders. Now to the top of the key for Addison Gorley as she buries the 3-pointer with 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It's 21-2, Sequoyah in the driver's seat as we're coming to the closing moments of the first quarter. James fires a shot from the free throw line and scores another basket right as time expires at the end of the first quarter. So after one, your score, Sequoyah 21, Etowah 4. Max, what can we really say about this one? Sequoyah's shots are falling, they're creating turnovers, they're playing well defensively, and Etowah's really trying to find an answer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Sequoyah's defense and offense, their overall game has been flawless so far. Maybe not all of their shots have fallen, but their shots are falling much more than Etowah's are. But don't discredit Etowah. Kirsten James is giving all she has on the floor. I see her running everywhere on the floor. She's giving all she has. She finally, a shot fell for her at the end of that first quarter. Just something has to click on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know. Something's not right with this Etowah team.
Well, it's not that they're not getting shots off. They are getting shots off. It's just they're having a hard time getting decent high percentage looks, and when they do get them up, they're not falling. So James was able to make a nice head fake there from the wing, drive into the free throw line, and drop it through the twine.
Yeah, and one
So as we come back out to start the second quarter, Sequoyah on top 21-4. Blatchford with 7 as well as Jackson. You know, Jackson was struggling a little bit from beyond the arc early in the first quarter. She finally found her rhythm as she sank a big three-pointer that kind of really kicked off the scoring for the Sequoyah offense.
Yeah, that's right, Chase. Also, one matchup that I was talking about earlier with Reed and Barber under their goal, it's kind of been dominated by Taft and Barber on the defensive side of the ball so far.
And you talked about it earlier in the pregame as that one goes out of bounds and will be Sequoyah basketball. You talked about that matchup down low between Reed and Barber. Blatchford up the floor to Davies. Davies gives it right back. Blatchford all sorts of time. And Jackson tried to reach for that one in the corner. The pass was a little beyond her reach. So Etowah takes over with 7:42 left to go in the second quarter, trailing 21-4. Tipped pass taken by Jackson. Sequoyah comes back down the floor. DeMauro getting trapped on the boundary of the court. Now back to Jackson, who fires a three-pointer from the wing. No good. Etowah's got numbers coming back to the other side of the court. They'll hold up as Albertson gets the ball beyond the three-point line, and that is deflected by Blatchford, picked up by Jackson.
And you're not going to be able to complete those passes when you have an amazing basketball player like El Blatchford on the floor defending.
Barber tried the no-look pass as it sailed out of bounds, but it was deflected by one of the Eagles on the way out. Davies going to inbound the ball for the Chiefs. And she finds Gaddis under the basket. That's DeMauro. DeMauro tries to lay it back up and in, and she does. So DeMauro getting it done underneath the basket as well, getting her own rebound and putting it back as Sequoyah goes up by 19. As the three-point shot by Ingrid Albertson is no good.
And Chase, as you said during the end of that first quarter, in that break, you're definitely right. They are taking shots, and they definitely do have opportunities. Just their shots aren't connecting. They aren't falling through. It's just something about tonight, maybe about the War Lodge, but kind of been all season because we talked about how 40 points per game, just nothing's clicking.
Turnovers are going to kill them as well. Here come the Chiefs. Good look inside. Blatchford well covered. She goes down to the floor as Davies might have tried to thread the needle a little bit too close. Blatchford went down to the floor. Sequoyah gets the jump ball. Davies going to inbound it for the Chiefs. She'll just leave it for Rogers. To the corner for Jackson. Jackson gets tied up and is able to get it back out to Blatchford. Barber takes it up top, hands it off to Blatchford. Blatchford for three, and she knocks down another one. So Sequoyah up 22 with 6:09 left to go in the first half of play, and Blatchford already with 10 points.
That's a good sign, already in double digits in the first half.
It is a good sign. You know, last time we were here when they were playing River Ridge, it didn't look like she had her fastball, so to say, but she has come out firing on all cylinders tonight as Sequoyah with a big lead over these Eagles. And another turnover forced by this Lady Chiefs defense. Jackson catches the ball at the three-point line, puts down a dribble. Now Rogers Rogers over to Davies. Blatchford flashes in the paint as Jackson has the ball poked away from her. So a good defensive effort there by Tipper for the Lady Eagles. Nice inside pass to Barber, who's fouled on the way to the basket.
That looked like a football pass. That was a bullet, and that was an accurate dime. What a pass by Blatchford.
And she anticipated the movement of the defender. She was able to find Barber as the defender moved just out of reach.
Yeah, she led her too. Looked like a quarterback on the court there.
So Barber unable to capitalize on the first free throw. She's got one left. 5:19 left to go in the first half. Your score, Sequoyah 26, Etowah 4. So Barber with a little bit of backspin on that basketball as it dribbles in. And Barber gets her first point of the evening. Inbound pass to Tipper. Tipper over to Johnson. Johnson finds Albertson. And back the other way we go. Davies looking for Jackson, who'll give it right back to her. Long pass over to Rogers. Rogers fakes the pass inside. Barber flashes in the paint. It's not there. Davies going to go ahead and fire a three-pointer that goes off the rim. Barber tripped a little bit, and Davies fires another. No good. Offensive rebound, no good by Rogers. Blatchford tripped up. Sequoyah showing pressure in the backcourt once again, and another steal for the Lady Chiefs as Rogers will take this one and lay it off the backboard, but no good. And Blatchford going to pick up her foul.
Rammed to the back of Emma Tipper there.
That's the double-edged sword of playing that aggressive of a defense. And sometimes you're going to pick up fouls. It's only the second team foul this quarter. No, the first team foul this quarter. So Sequoyah, while putting on ample pressure on this Lady Eagles offense, is doing a very good job of not getting into foul trouble. Laid back for Tipper. Now Tipper inside to Pollard, who has that one poked away from her. Pollard will inbound it for the Eagles. And stolen by Abdusalam on the inbound, so Sequoyah creating all sorts of havoc on the defensive side of the ball. Drive to the basket, no good by Sophia DeMauro. Ball picked up by Archer. And a long three-pointer, no good by Tipper. Ball pushed ahead by Rogers. And DeMaro's pass back to Gaddis, no good. And Rogers ends up with the basketball back at the logo.
And if you're Etowah, you just need one shot to fall. You haven't scored this whole second quarter. You just need something to get going.
3:30 left to go in the first half. Sequoyah on top of Etowah, 27-4. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Chiefs basketball. Jackson to Gaddis. Gives it right back to Jackson. Jackson thought about the long three, gives it to DeMauro. Shot clock winding down, so Rogers takes a crack at it, no good. But an offensive rebound by Jackson is negated as Sophia DeMauro picks up the basketball. So 27-4, still your score with 3:10 left to go in the first half of play. So a line change for the Lady Eagles as their original starters make their way back out onto the court. Led by James, the senior point guard. She'll go one-on-one with Rogers. Gets this back out to Archer. And an inside look by Reed. Lays it off the glass. and gets the first points for the Lady Eagles in the second quarter. 2:55 left to go, 27-26. Sequoyah still on top by 21 points. Rogers with a nice drive to the lane and lays it up and in.
I've been really impressed by Rogers' leadership on the court this season. For a senior season, she's having a heck of a one.
Another pass poked away, but James recovers for the Eagles. She'll find Edwards. Edwards trying to dribble her way into the paint. No good. Reed catches it in the high post and lays it up and in. So Reed finding her stride offensively for the Eagles. 2:20 left to go in the first half. 29-8, Sequoyah leads.
And now Reed is on Abdul Salam. Barbara's on the bench, and she seems to like that matchup much more.
Abdul Salam, the freshman. DeMauro launches up a three that's no good. And the defensive pressure continues. Inside look to Archer, who cannot handle the basketball. Reed takes it at the wing. Tries to drive baseline and almost lays another one in. Abdul Salam with the rebound for the Chiefs. 1:50 left to go in the first half. Still 29-8. As Sequoyah, believe it or not, is in a little bit of a scoring drought at the moment. Gorley takes a look at a three-pointer, and it goes well over the rim, where it'll be picked up by James for the Lady Eagles. James with the step-back three-pointer, a little short. Ball pushed ahead for Sequoyah by Rogers. Pass to Addison Gorley, and Gorley lays it up and in, and she'll get a chance at a three-point play.
And the sophomores look very promising this season. Some clutch threes, a lot of aggressive drives. I've been thoroughly impressed by what I've seen by Addison Gorley this season. And Barber's back in the game now. Let's see how Reed matches up against her.
So Sequoyah starters took a little bit of a breather, and Gorley converts on the three-point play. They'll make it 32-8. 1:24 left to go in the opening half, as this game has been all Sequoyah. James finds Archer. Inside look to Reed. Reed getting worked on by Barber. James sends it over to Edwards. And the pass ends up in the bleachers. They're going to say it went off one of the Chiefs. So Etowah will keep the ball. 1:03 left to go, as we are closing in on the final moments of a first half that I'm sure Etowah would like to forget. Three-point shot launched up, no good by Jasmine Edwards. Offensive rebound after some hard contact. Lining up a three-pointer is Reed. No good. Barber with the rebound for the Chiefs. 44 seconds left to go, still 32-8.
And on that play right there, Blatchford was 1v2 and still got the rebound.
Speaking of Blatchford, she drains another three-pointer, and Sequoyah walks it out to a 35-8 lead. 30 seconds left to go in the first half.
What a magnificent player we have in our hands, Chase.
She's up to 13 points already in the first half. 20 seconds left to go. James feeds Edwards at the high post. Edwards with the turnaround jumper, and the bank is open as Etowah scores 10 points with 5 seconds left to go in the first half. 35-10. Sequoyah going to try and get a shot off, and Blatchford lays it off the backboard. No good. So that'll do it for the first half here from the War Lodge. Your score, Sequoyah 35, Etowah 10. What can we say about this? You know, Etowah appeared to be finding their stride in the second half as they started feeding, in the first half, excuse me, as they started feeding Reed down in the paint. She was taking advantage of a favorable matchup on Abdul Salam, but as soon as Barber came back in the game, she was all but neutralized again.
Yeah, they kind of stopped looking at her too. They, with James at the top, they didn't really look to feed it to her with Barber on her, but Abdul Salam, they got her the ball. Maybe that's something they're looking at, and obviously wanting to not go to Reed with Barber, but they started making their shots there at the end. That's something to look at, and I think they have a chance to get something going in this third quarter maybe, after halftime.
So that's the end of the first half. Once again, your score, Sequoyah 35, Etowah 10. We will be back momentarily to bring you the second half of this varsity matchup between the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Lady Eagles. Thank you for joining us on Chiefs TV, and we will be right back after this short break.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the War Lodge in Canton, Georgia. I'm joined by Mr. Chase Shafer here. In that first half, we saw a true dominance by the Chiefs, and honestly, a tale of two stories. The Chiefs had headlined by a vicious defense and great passing. Their shots were connecting. But on the other hand, we saw this Etowah team honestly struggle. 10 points in the first half. They seemed to be putting all their effort into it, just something wasn't clicking for them.
And Max, it looks like they're trying to force the inside game. James obviously bringing the ball up the court for them, trying to push it down to Reed. Reed's done a good job from the inside, but it seems like that Barber matchup is giving her a little trouble. When we saw Abda Salam check in, she was able to get inside and get better looks. But at the same time, Sequoiah's defense has just swallowed up this Etowah offense. And on the reverse side of that, they force so many turnovers, and they get points off of all those turnovers. So when it comes time for them to capitalize on Etowah's mistakes, they have done it almost every time.
Yeah, it's been astounding, this Chiefs defense, as James takes up the floor to start off the second half. Into Reed, guarded by Barber now. Out back to James, outside the arc, gives it back to Reed. James, guarded by Jackson, gets it to Edwards. Looks inside, takes it by herself. Has it for a three, and it's good. And the Eagles start the second half early with 3 points.
Edwards' first three-pointer on the night. Let's see if that gets the Eagles back in the game as far as that offensive production.
And Blatchford with a 13-point first half performance leads the Chiefs with the floor, but Rogers with the ball now. Edwards guarded by Archer, where it's a good steal by Jasmine Edwards of the Eagles, and gets it to James. Inside to Reed, guarded by Barber, goes up for two, and barely off the rim. But that two is good by Becca Archer. Her second and third points of the night.
Yeah, good put back there by Archer. Reed still trying to work that inside game as Barber still giving her a hard time. Nice post move, though.
Blatchford's shot off the rim. And James going to take it over the floor. Blatchford guarding her. Edwards looks for the shot, but no. Stolen by Blatchford. An errant pass to Jackson. She catches it and goes up for two, and it's in.
Great job recovering there by Erin Jackson. She took the shoulder check a little bit. They're going to let them play a physical brand of basketball here tonight. Good job on the officials of not calling that. Jackson able to recover and bury it back home.
6:06 left in the third quarter as Archer kicks it to James. Back to Archer, covered, double teamed actually. Gets to Johnson. Edwards for three. No good. 1 for 2 the second half. And Rogers pushing up the floor. A bounce pass to Blatchford, and foul going up by James.
Hard foul there, but that's the brand of basketball we're used to seeing Ellie Blatchford play. That's why she has so many college looks on her right now. Drives to the basket hard, tries to lay it up and in, draws the foul. She's at the free throw line.
And the multi-sport athlete in Kirsten James picks up her second foul. And Blatchford's shot teases in and out. And Becca Archer comes out. Raina Neal in now for the Eagles as Blatchford attempts her second shot. And it swishes through the net, and that's 38-15. And the Eagles trying to break this press by the Chiefs, and they do get it past half court with Edwards, but here comes the double team, almost stolen by Rogers. But there goes Blatchford with the tip away. And Rogers pushing up the floor to Blatchford. Tries to recover it in bounds. And it's off the foot of Erin Jackson. And Blatchford can't believe it, but it's Eagles ball nonetheless as the Chiefs are putting a 4-on-1 pressure.
Close call there for the official, but Sequoiah's up by 13 or 23 at this point.
James pushing it with Rogers on her side, but Reed recovers the ball. And that's a timeout by Etowah, stuck in the corner.
Yeah, good timeout there by Etowah. You have your best offensive player trapped a long way away from where you actually want her to have the basketball. Call timeout, rally the troops, see if we can get some more offensive consistency going here.
And honestly, they haven't had a bad showing. Scoring 5 points in this third quarter early, that's more than they scored in the whole first quarter, and we still have 5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, and Edwards really came out of the locker room with her hair on fire. We saw her come out and immediately sink that three-pointer, comes out, gets another steal, tries to drive the length of the floor. Obviously, she didn't make the shot. It was a contested shot, but she's come out of the locker room with an intensity about the way she's playing.
Yeah, and I think all the Eagles have. I mean, they're down by 23. Why not come out with a huge amount of intensity on your back to play with as the girls come back onto the floor with 5:16 left in the third quarter here in the War Lodge. Edwards looking to pass it in. Gets it to Reed, who hands it off to Johnson, goes up for two and drops it in. And the Eagles up to 17. Blatchford drives to the lane and misses the teardrop. Recovered by Raina Neal. And Edwards going to push it up the floor. And that's a swatted away stolen ball by Aaron Jackson, pushing it and makes the layup. Chiefs now up to 40 and applying a press. Another steal by Aaron Jackson, pushing up the floor.
This
once
Sequoyah
again.
Chiefs defense is just stifling. They have created a ton of turnovers, and it's been fun to watch.
Jackson for three off the rim, and it's rebounded by Kenny Johnson with 4:23 remaining in the game. It's going to be a foul on Blatchford, her second of the evening.
So Blatchford going to come out and take a little bit of a rest. That's a good call. Barber and Blatchford both headed to the bench. You're up by 23 at this point. Go ahead and get some of those starters a little bit of a rest.
Almost another steal by Jackson, and she does get the steal. Rips it out of Davis's hands, and Diamera going to put it up for two. And the Chiefs lead up to 26.
Nice job there by DeMauro, recognizing that Jackson was going to get the steal and trying to create a scoring lane down the court.
And that's going to be another steal by Aaron Jackson for this quarter. Pushes up the floor to Diamera, who fakes it. Kicks it out to Rogers. Drives on Reed for two.
Excellent job there by Rogers. Was able to create distance on the bigger Reed, using that arm to not necessarily push her away, but create some distance to where she could get a good angle on the basket.
And Taylor Davis trying to bring it up the floor with Rogers guarding her, and she does. Another steal by Aaron Jackson. 5 this quarter, and Diamero gets a smooth layup, but it's no good. Tried to go under the rim there, and Eagles are pushing it. Jackson almost got another one. And she does. She gets her 6th.
Officer, I would like to report a robbery. Aaron Jackson.
A magical array of passing there by Gaddis to Davies, and that's a timeout, Sequoyah.
Jackson is picking the pocket blind of this Etowah Eagles. She's got to be getting close on double-double territory. She's already got 11 points. She has to have close to that in steals just in this half alone. You know, Sequoyah about to go up 30 here. They've got a 29-point lead with 3:11 left to go in the third quarter. Very few fouls, and Coach Yarbrough's just content to let his girls come in and out of the bench, get some rest, as we see the starters back out on the floor again.
And I wouldn't say that the passes that Etowah is making, that Jackson is stealing, I don't think they're terrible passes, just Jackson is getting there in a flash, and her arms are just getting there quickly. It's very impressive.
Speaking of Jackson, Jackson gets subbed out as the rest of the starters along with her. Jackson going to take a much deserved break with 3:10 left to go in the third quarter.
Polar going to take it up for Etowah, down by 29. Gets it to Tipper. And that's going to be taken away by Abdul Salam. Rogers going to take it to the floor. Finds a Gaddis in the corner, guarded heavily. Calls for a play, and Gorley sets a screen. Diamera going to look inside for Gaddis. Kicks it after Rogers, who's also going to drive. Missed layup there. That's going to be Eagles ball. Pushing up the floor is Pollard again. And she finds Archer for three, no good. Rebounded by Gorley, the sophomore, and that's going to be poked out of bounds by Pollard, but it is Chiefs ball. 2:19 left in the third quarter. 46-17, Chiefs lead at home, and Gorley has it. Looking for Rogers down low, and she ends up getting it off the tip of Archer. Gaddis's drive, no good. Rebounded by Tipper. It's going to be Chiefs ball. Pardon me, Eagles ball off of Diamero's hit out of bounds. And Polo's going to take it over the floor now. Chiefs running a zone, pardon me, a man. Out to Tipper, driving on Rogers, kicks it back out to Archer. Sends up another three, this one also no good. Abdul Salam gonna kick it out to Rogers, who pushes it. Finds Diamero to Gorley, but it's intercepted by Tipper.
Yeah, great job by Tipper there to step into the passing lane. Sequoyah's been trying to use those quick passes all night long, and they got burned on it.
And the shot is no good. As Sequoyah pushes the floor, Gorley for a layup, and she gets it. Pollard taking the floor again, looking for Albertson down the court. Finds her. Lonis guarded by Abdus Salam. Pollard resetting, finding Albertson in the corner. Decides to drive against Gorley. And that's a three attempted by Tipper, but no good. Rogers finds Gaddis, gonna drive, kicks it out to Gorley. Errant pass directly to Pollard, and she can see Archer to her right, but she decides to drive, and the behind-the-back layup was no good. Even Pollard seems a little bit confused about what just happened there. But it's going to be Etowah ball. Seemed like Gaddis grabbed it. Tries to look for Lonis, but intercepted by Gaddis. Gorley pushing it with Tipper on her side. No good layup by Gaddis. Albertson quickly trapped, and a pass to no one is taken away by Diamero. No look pass to Rogers, who sets up for a long two. No good.
I think it bears note here that Gaddis is having an absolute blast down there. She's gone up and down the court several times with the biggest smile you've ever seen. Is Sequoyah well in control of this one?
Yeah, the Chiefs are having fun out there, knowing that they have a lead with 0.2 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yeah, Sequoyah up 31 here. There's not a whole lot left to take away for Sequoyah out of this game. We'll see if we see more of the same from Coach Yarbrough as he lets his starters kind of get a little bit more rest and get geared up for this weekend's War Lodge Invitational. Yeah,
I'm hoping to see some of those sophomores like Barber, Reagan, maybe some Trujillo in there. Hoping to see what the future of Sequoyah looks like. Get some reps in for the lower classmen.
So Sequoyah up 31. We'll see a shortened clock here in the fourth quarter per GHSA rules. Sequoyah's up so big that they're going to go ahead and shave 2 minutes off of this and get everybody back to the locker room and let Etowah have another crack at it next game.
And James seems to have a little bit of an injury on her face. Seems to be a little bit swollen. Big red patch on her left side, holding ice to it.
Yeah, we saw her holding that earlier on in the game. We saw her take a little bit of a shot to the face, and she walked off and went to the trainer's table for a few minutes, came back in. We saw her play some more, so maybe just some hard contact causing that.
It has been an aggressive game, as you said, Chase. The refs are letting them play, and they're playing hard. As we see Bellinger, Jackson, Barber, Davies, and Blatchford in for Sequoyah. James, Edwards, Johnson, Archer, and Reed in for Etowah as Blatchford takes up the floor. Finds Barber at the high post. But hands off to Bellinger for her first shot of the night, and it's no good from three. And Edwards going to take it up the floor.
I believe that's our first look at Bellinger all evening as well, as she comes out to get some minutes here in the in what I guess you would call mop-up duty.
And Reed on Barber, her nemesis of the game, and she does a little fake move, and it's no good. Jackson pushing it.
It's a good move. She's very athletic, but for some reason when she gets on Barber doing a good job of disrupting that shot pattern and causing her to not be able to find pay dirt.
Yeah, Barber's just locked her down this game. An impressive performance by the senior as Blatchford kicks it to Bellinger. Jackson guarded by Archer, but Davies kicks it back to Bellinger. And Blatchford for three. It's good. Heavily guarded by Edwards, but in her mouth, the shot was good by Blatchford.
So Blatchford up to her season average from last year to 17 points a game with another deep three-pointer for the Chiefs.
Reed, the pass to Edwards. James finds Johnson. And the three is no good by Edwards. And that's going to be a foul on
Archer.
Yeah, Becca Archer of the Eagles. Her first on the evening. Bellinger trying to look for an outlet, and she finds Jackson. And she's going to be guarded by James, double teamed with Johnson, but finds Bellinger. Davis going to dribble around the arc. Jackson setting up a Chiefs play.
Wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to get this one down to Barber.
Brooke Reagan in the game now. And Jackson has it with Etowah running a zone. And Jackson for three, no good. Rebounded by Reed, but Barber takes it away from her. Bellinger for a second three of the night, and it's good. Second attempt is good.
And we see some of the younger girls getting into action here late in the ball game.
And it's good for them to make some shots, get some motivation in their craft. As James looking for a passer.
Here's that matchup again.
That's right. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. I think it's going to be Barber. Reed finally getting her way against Barber tonight. I think that might have been Saylor Davies. Held up a 2 and a 3. Numbers of Saylor Davies. It's going to be a foul on the Chiefs. Pass to Johnson. James guarded by Davies outside. Edwards looking to shoot, but instead dribbles with Bellinger guarding her heavily, and that's going to be taken away by Bellinger.
Yeah, not a good idea there by Edwards to pick up a dribble with a defender in her face, because as soon, nowadays coaches tell these players as soon as that ball handler picks up the ball to just swarm to it, because they can't put the basketball back down, and if you swarm to the ball, get in their face, cause some havoc, you might cause some turnovers.
Yeah, and Aaron pass there by the Chiefs gives Etowah the ball back with 3:18 left in the fourth quarter in the War Lodge. Johnson has it on the outside, but Reed against Abdul Salam, and that's her 6 points. And we keep talking about this, Max. As soon as Abdul Salam comes in, Reed feels a little bit more comfortable getting physical in the paint and scoring points. Yeah, just something seems to be working against Abdul Salam. That's going to be a defensive foul on Kennedy Johnson of the Eagles.
Yeah, sophomore guard a little bit too aggressive there on the defensive end.
And Reagan's going to bring it up for Sequoyah. 4 sophomores and 1 freshman on the floor for the Chiefs. As it is, as you said, mop-up time, Chase. 54-19 with 2:41 left in the fourth quarter. Reed has it on the outside, guarded by Salam. Some movement on the backside. Edwards looking for a shot, but decides to take it. And that's going to be seemed like a pass, but it
one of the Chiefs got a hand on that one. That's why it's going to stay Etowah basketball.
Makes more sense now. That's going to be Edwards passing it in, and Taylor Wills comes in for Etowah. Comes in for Edwards, actually, and she's going to pass the ball in. And Reed snatches over 2 Chiefs' head. James for 3, and it's good. Kirsten James gets her 5th point. Gets the 5 points on the evening. As Chiefs have the ball now. Bellinger on the outside.
Good shot there by James. Maybe some momentum to carry into the next game.
Reagan for 3, and it's good. Chiefs respond. Reagan getting on the board now. as James brings it down the floor with 1:47 left in the fourth. Will's going to drive. Her first touch on the basketball, but finds Johnson down low, and she's going to do a nice move, an impressive move by Kennedy Johnson. Going to draw a foul and go to the charity stripe.
Yeah, you said it. Beautiful inside post move. It's just a shame that that didn't fall in. She'll get a chance to get them back, though.
Foul on Shelby Bellinger, her second of the evening. And that first shot is no good by Kennedy Johnson. 1:40 left in the fourth quarter. 57-22 is your score from Sequoyah High School's War Lodge in Canton, Georgia. I'm Max Swain, joined by Chase Shafer. You're watching Chiefs TV, if you didn't know that.
If you didn't know that, it's really interesting how you got here to begin with, but thank you for joining us anyway.
Kennedy Johnson for her second attempt. And it's good. Bounces around at least 3 times. Ends up through the net, and Trujillo going to pass it in for Sequoyah. Bellinger for 3, no good. Rebounded by Pollard. Pass it over to Wills. Her first shot of the evening, and it's no good. But gets her own rebound. That's how you follow your shot. And Pollard guarded by Gray. That's going to be a defensive foul on Ava Gray with the body.
A little bit of a little soft contact there. Not sure.
Especially this late in the game when the lead is like that, but nonetheless, 1:10 left in the fourth. As Wills, looking for an outlet, finds Becca Newman. Pollard drops the pass into Bellinger's hands.
It was a nice pass. It just got there a little bit late.
Turnover gives the Chiefs the ball. Ava Gray in the corner. No good for the freshman, but Trujillo trying to move it on Newman. Shot is errant. And Bellinger, no good. 0 for 3 on the possession were the Chiefs. 41 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Let's see if Etowah can put something together here in the last 40 seconds of the game. Maybe work on something that they can take into the next ball game and build some momentum.
Newman looking for a teammate as Lonis gets it to Wills. Drives after the fake, and the shot is no good. Barber gets the rebound. And the shot clock is errant, as shot clock means nothing now. It's 14 seconds left, but Gray puts up a shot.
Yeah, nice baseline drive there. Just couldn't find the basket.
Yeah, not enough on that one. As Polo's going to drive, but the shot is no good as the clock hits zeros, and that is the end of this ball game here. Chiefs win 57-23. Honestly, a dominant performance from start to finish from the Chiefs, Chase.
Yeah, Sequoyah was able to cause a lot of problems on the defensive side of the ball. Not that Etowah wasn't getting looks, it's just they couldn't get in to get looks because Sequoyah was forcing so many turnovers in the backcourt between Blatchford and obviously Jackson, who in the third quarter alone had to have 5 or 6 steals. Sequoyah able to dominate in all aspects of the game. Hopefully Etowah can take something from this and build a little bit of momentum going into that next ball game. Sequoyah gets back on the winning track, their 3rd win in a row. So they started the year, they'd win, then they'd lose, then they'd win, then they'd lose, and they'd win, then they'd lose. Now they're able to start putting together some solid victories and hopefully build on this winning streak that they've created here.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not that Etowah didn't have their opportunities. It's just Sequoyah capitalized on every one they had, almost every one they had. It seemed like they made a lot of their shots in the first half. Not as many points as they had in the second half, but still, it was a very impressive performance by that vicious defense. And Aaron Jackson, man, that second half, all those steals. Whew.
And I liked what Etowah was trying to do on the offensive side of the basketball, using that size, because they certainly had a size advantage down low, trying to use that size to make things happen in the low post. But Barber was playing Reed very, very well. And we talked about it multiple times on the broadcast, where whenever Barber would come out and Abdus-Salam would go in, Reed felt more comfortable going at the freshman than she did going after Barber.
Yeah, and it makes sense because Barber is a hard girl to shoot on. But with Abdul Salam, her lack of experience, I think Reed noticed that from the beginning, and she liked what she saw when she shot against Abdul Salam.
And Tafton's a senior, obviously. She's been in some battles with some excellent basketball players. You know, you think about last year, Cherokee County had a very, very talented senior who ended up going and playing at Furman. So anyway, complete game by the Lady Chiefs, and hopefully they can take this momentum going forward and get some more region wins after getting a non-region win here today. They'll be in action again this weekend as they take on, I believe, North Paulding on Friday. Then they get Woodstock on Saturday, and then North Paulding on Friday. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Chiefs TV. We're going to take a short break here with about 5 minutes left before the boys' game. We've got a special guest joining us up here in the booth to talk about something other than basketball, a football player here at Sequoyah who you saw a lot on Chiefs TV. Our starting fullback, Peyton Lucas, going to come up here and talk to us a little bit about his senior year and obviously his big commitment announcement that he just made. And we'll let him tell us a little bit more about that at the end of the break. So we'll be right back in a few minutes. I am Chase Shafer. Max Swain, excellent job on the second half of the girls' basketball game. And we will see you all here on Chiefs TV in just a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chiefs TV. We promised you this during the girls' basketball game, a special treat. Joining us in between games, Sequoyah Chiefs, I guess you could say former now, Sequoyah Chiefs fullback Peyton Lucas. Football season's over, Peyton. How you feeling?
Well, I am feeling kind of sad, really sad, in fact, because I've been playing with some of these boys since I was a kid. But I'm more happy because I'm going to college for football and starting new beginnings, and I'm going to see a former Sequoyah player there. I'm just happy I can start something new and continue playing because I love the sport.
So let's go ahead and dive right into it. You chose Birmingham Southern. You had a couple other opportunities on your plate. Ultimately, what was the deciding factor in going to Birmingham Southern?
One thing is, when I first got there, I immediately felt like it was home because Baylor kind of showed me around, and I toured the campus, how nice the players were. They showed me around the facilities. Half the time that I was there, that the players showed me around. And when I grow up, I want to go into physical therapy, and southern part of Birmingham is a pretty good place to go, considering the job listings in Birmingham. I can intern there. They have a good major I want to study in. And overall, it came down to just how I felt there, but also how my family felt there. They felt it was comfortable. It's not too far from home, so I can come home on the weekends. And it's ultimately just somewhere I want to be.
Yeah, you and I had talked about what you wanted to study a little bit offline earlier last week when we were down there by the trainers table. So going to Birmingham Southern, obviously you mentioned Baylor. Baylor Borden, one of last year's seniors, was a wide receiver on the team. Obviously not the first Sequoyah Chief to go to Birmingham Southern, but what about this Sequoyah Chiefs program do you think is preparing you guys to go ahead and take that next step and play college ball?
Well, growing up playing football, I've had my own idea of just everything. My dad's been a huge part of me getting into football, and I wouldn't be playing if it weren't for him. I love the sport, but it's also a good percent of my dad. And that transition from middle school into high school, it was a lot different. Freshman year, I had Coach Mann, but I didn't have Teeter yet. And Coach Mann, they kind of welcomed me. They were like, get ready because the next few years are going to be harder. And once I did move up, freshman year, once I moved to varsity, once they pulled me up, I can tell how serious it was. I can tell how much faster it was in a varsity high school football game than it was in kind of JV freshman. And they ultimately prepared me by staying on top of me with workouts and practice. And it was a big transition, but ultimately it led me to be not only a better football player, but just a better athlete and person in the class and off the field.
Coach Mann getting a lot of shout-outs, not just here doing Chiefs TV, but on the football field as well. He wears a lot of hats for this school. What's the plan for the rest of your senior year?
Well, now that the football season's over, I'm still working out and still staying on top of the grind because I have to go play college football, of course, but mostly it's just stay on top of my grades. I can study a lot more now that I have my afternoons to myself, but I can also work out a lot more. But it's mostly just kick back and relax, wait for this upcoming summer to go to Birmingham Southern. But I'm definitely going to start coming to a lot more of the events like basketball. I'm running track in the spring, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to the soccer games. I'm going to go to lacrosse games. I'm going to go to other sports that people watched me play because I know I wanted them to come to mine, to my football games, and I definitely want to go to theirs just to show them my appreciation and how much I appreciate them coming to mine. And not only that, but I really do enjoy watching sports. It's just something I've always enjoyed.
Well, that's an invite if you ever want to come up here, especially for this weekend. We got the War Lodge Classic coming up. If you want to come in and sit in the booth with us,
I'm more than happy to. That'd be fun.
That offer is definitely on the table. Switching gears for just 1 second, we're going to have to get going here with the boys game in a minute, but we had a lot of cool moments the last 2 years, and particularly this year, on the football field. What's some of your favorite football moments in your time playing here at Sequoyah?
I would say my senior year, starting off with my senior year, my favorite football moment was, last year, junior year, we lost to Cherokee. And we lost again this year, but I'll tell you something, I loved the drive and competitiveness during that game. I haven't seen anything else like that. And in other games in the season it continued, not all of them, but in other games. And let me tell you, that was probably a game that I can say after I put my heart and soul into that game and in every play. And then when I went home, I passed out. I couldn't even hang out with friends. I wish we would have won it for how much just drive and everything that we put into it, but we didn't. But at the end of the day, I can definitely say that we were the people's champion.
It was one of my favorite games to call. It was definitely a heart attack in the box, especially that fourth quarter. That was an amazing game, and the conclusion, as heartbreaking as it was, and say what you will about the ending, but I definitely felt you guys had their number in that game, and it was a shame that we didn't win it. But Peyton, thank you so much for joining us, man. Hopefully we'll see you in the booth some more. Good luck at Birmingham Southern, and
thank you, of course.
Hopefully
thank
the boys pull it out here tonight. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the War Lodge here at Sequoyah High School, getting ready to get underway for a county matchup between the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Etowah Eagles. If you're joining us after the girls' game, you missed a complete domination by the Lady Chiefs from beginning to end as they took down the Etowah Lady Eagles to move to 5-2 on the season. So a good win all around for the girls. Joining me here in the booth, Max Swain, my co-host. He took us all the way home in the second half of the girls' game. Hopefully this one's a little bit closer. Etowah's boys come in here at 4-5, 0-2 in Region 5-7A, but don't take them for granted. They're a very talented team.
Yeah, they're a very talented team all around, from their outside shooting to their rebounding. Both of these teams score around 68 points per game, so if it's according to the stats, this one should be an entertaining matchup to the end. Yet another thriller in the War Lodge in the past 2 weeks.
And another thing that we saw during halftime, Kyle Keener in the last game broke the 1,000-point mark for Sequoyah, so he is now a member of the 1,000-point club, and he goes down with some pretty impressive names in history of the Sequoyah Chiefs basketball program. You know, you go out there and you look at some of the names on the record books and some of the people that have built this basketball program up. He is now in elite company in Sequoyah High School basketball history. We wish him the best and want to say congratulations as we get ready to get underway here from the War Lodge. Dylan Wiley out at center court to take the tip off against the senior Joshua Hughes, standing at a very tall 6'6". He'll step in to go up against the Sequoyah sharpshooter as we get ready to do battle for a non-region matchup. Sequoyah wins. Keener gets the rebound, sends it over to Wally, who opens up the game 5 seconds in with a huge three-pointer.
And Dylan Wally opening up the game, as you said, huge three-pointer. We're going to see a lot of him tonight. He is a sharp shooter for the Chiefs.
Devonish picks up his dribble and gets it over to Hughes, who gives it right back to Devonish. He's getting worked on by Parker. Drives to the basket and lays it up and in. So both teams on their first possession score points. 7:35 left to go. Wally with a nice mid-range jumper and knocks it down. And hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We might have a shootout tonight.
5 quick points for the senior committed to Rollins, and that shows that he can make points at any time. He is a clutch shooter.
And driving to the basket, no good, but a foul called. So going to the line to shoot two will be Dejan Devonish. And Mitchell picks up his first of the night. Devonish good on the first basket, the senior point guard. And sinks number two, a one-point game, 5-4, 7:17 left to go in the first. Both teams shooting the lights out of the building as it's been Dylan Wally and Devonish going back and forth with each other as they have all the points scored in the game so far. Devonish hyper-aggressive on defense. Up to the top for Wally. Wally buries another three-pointer, and he has come out to start the game with his hair on fire. 8-4 Chiefs.
Oh my gosh. Chase, Dylan Wally, as you said, he has come out with some sort of fire in his hair.
Three-pointer drained by Hughes, or I'm sorry, Angelakos. So Angelakos, the second different scorer for the Eagles. Wally's shot, I'm not so sure a hand wasn't on that one by Reichsteiner. 8-7, a chance for Etowah to take the lead. No good on the layup. Rebound by Parker, who momentarily loses the basketball, but recovers. 6:20 left to go in the first. Keener, the 1,000-point joiner, is now in the three-point club for tonight as he buries one from beyond the arc.
18 points quickly scored in less than 2 minutes here. Should be a shootout, as you said, Chase.
Could be a high-scoring affair here tonight. Step back, two-point shot, no good by Eder. Keener to Mitchell at the top. Finds Wally, who is red hot right now. Keener takes his time, finds Parker. Parker wants to get in on the action, and he does. Parker with an opportunity now to convert on the rare 4-point play.
And what a play. Preston Parker, a consistently great player who always seems to get 10, 12 points for the Chiefs, and it always comes up clutch.
So Sequoyah doubles up Etowah 14-7, 5:45 left to go in the first quarter. Oh, and it rattles out. Parker no good on the 4-point play, but he still hits a huge three-pointer as the foul was called on Devonish. Long 2-point shot, no good as it bounces off the front of the rim. Wally with the rebound. Devonish playing very aggressive defense on the Sequoyah backcourt. Parker with the ball, finally puts a dribble down. Out to the corner for Fisher. Mitchell, who hits a three-pointer!
We're in a world where all the Chiefs are making points, all the Chiefs are making threes. Everything is clicking right now on offense for Sequoyah.
Sequoyah up by 10, 17-7. And an offensive foul drawn by Dylan Wally as he is run into by Joshua Hughes.
They've been making their shots. They brought the aggression on both sides of the ball. I don't know where this came from, but from right out of the gate, the Chiefs have struck heavy and struck early.
So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a little bit of a ride here at the War Lodge. Parker thinks about a deep three, gonna second guess that. Hughes in his face. Now over to Keener. Keener has Devonish on him. Trapped, Parker gonna go baseline all the way over to Fisher Mitchell. If he makes another three-pointer, as it rolls off the rim and is no good, it'll stay Sequoyah basketball.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chase, if Fisher Mitchell made his second three, I might have left the building.
The building might have left the building. This place would have come unglued. Sequoyah almost lights out from beyond the arc here in the first quarter. We've still got 4:40 left to go. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. Foul going up for the shot is Keener. So Keener going to take a trip to the charity stripe.
A physical shot by Keener shows how aggressive of a player he is, how vicious he is to get to the lane and shoot with hands all over him and knowing that he can put that shot up and attract the foul.
So Keener will sink the first, and that'll make it 18-7. Sequoyah up 11, 4:37 left to go in the first quarter. And Keener makes the second. That makes it a 12-point game, 19-7 Sequoyah. Nice pass up to Reichsteiner. And off the foot of Angelakos, Sequoyah basketball.
I think that ball just hit a cheerleader in the face, maybe. She seems perfectly fine, though.
So everybody getting in on the physicalness of this game. Wally to the basket, lays it off the glass and in.
And Reichsteiner was right there. He's a very athletic basketball player, but Wally beat him straight to the goal.
He slapped halfway up the backboard.
Yeah.
21-7 Sequoyah. As we've got a football score here at the War Lodge in the first quarter. Devonish takes the ball beyond the arc, now down into the corner for Etowah. Devonish gets the ball back, now up to Reichsteiner. Over to Eder. Eder going to drive the lane, lays that off the glass, no good. Rebound by Fisher Mitchell. A chance for Sequoyah to really put some distance between them and the Eagles as Parker's three-point shot no good. Contested rebound taken by Keener. Keener with a beautiful step-back jumper for two from the free throw line, and Etowah wants to talk about it.
And they have a reason to. They're down by 16, but Keener's fadeaways this whole season have been magical, and he is deservingly part of the 1,000-point club because he makes those shots no matter the situation.
Dylan Wally, 3:29 left to go in the first quarter. Sequoyah up 23-7. Wally's got 10 of those points.
That was the way he opened up this game, getting 5 straight points, and how he's continued it, and his defense. He took the charge, his defensive presence. He has come with some chip on his shoulder, some pride in this game.
Yeah, the veteran leadership on full display here in the first quarter of this game. Biggest concern right now for us is he going to run? Are they going to run out of steam?
Yeah.
Is it too much too soon? Are they getting hot at the wrong point of the game? But a big lead for Sequoyah at the moment with 3.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
And I wouldn't want to count this Etowah team out either, because they can, of course, adapt. This team is very capable of coming back. They have a lot of key players, a lot of great players in key positions.
We'll get our first look at Etowah's freshman Aiden Weaver.
I've actually played basketball with Aiden Weaver. He is a phenomenal athlete.
So a little scouting going on by Max as Devonish drives uncontested to the basket and lays it up and in. 23-9 in favor of the Chiefs. Nice move there by Parker, a little bit off on the shot. It's going to go out of bounds off Sequoyah, so a chance for Etowah to climb back into this one a little bit. Eichsteiner with the ball. Keener waits for him to cross half court. Nice move inside. Beautiful look as Eder, uncontested basket as he was all by himself in the paint underneath the hoop. Fisher Mitchell for 3. That one teases no good.
What a look that was by Reichsteiner. Sorry, that was a phenomenal pass. A no-look pass, and that was a bullet. Wow.
Ball goes out of bounds. Chiefs will take it under their own hoop. Wally has to go deep to get the pass. It connects. Wally fakes, sends this one over to Connor Harris, who misses as it goes off the side of the backboard. 2:35 left to go in the first quarter. 23-11 your score. Shot no good as it goes off the front of the rim. Great effort there by Keener to get the basketball. Pulling up for 3 is Parker, no good. Sequoyah getting a little cold from beyond the arc. Keener lays it up and in on the offensive board, though.
It might be getting cold from beyond the arc, but Keener is always there to make those close shots.
2:10 left to go in the opening round of this game. 25-11. Sequoyah is who the scoreboard favors. Nice look inside. Laid it up and in as Aiden Weaver. Weaver opening up a different dynamic in this game for the Etowah Eagles, 25-13, as they start to close the gap a little on these Chiefs.
And he has long arms, a great wingspan.
Great job there by Mitchell getting the offensive board. Not so sure Wally's shot didn't get blocked. Inside look to Devonish. Low percentage shot, but he makes it. And it stays a 12-point game, 27-15, 90 seconds left to go in the first quarter. So both teams giving each other their best shot. And Wally misses that. So Etowah with a chance to capitalize on the Dylan Wally miss. You know, we talked about that. We were hoping that they didn't get cold at the right moment, didn't get hot at the right time. And back to within a single-digit game as Mason Eder drains a three-pointer. So we're back to within 9. Fisher Mitchell rushes the shot, no good. So back to within 9. Devonish all by himself lays it up and in. A complete defensive breakdown for Sequoyah, and Coach Carden needs to rally the troops as it is now a 27-20 ball game with 47 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
That's exactly what I said earlier. This Etowah, you shouldn't count this Etowah team out at any moment, because as I said, they can create holes, they can create lanes. They are a talented group of dudes and players that they just weren't clicking in that beginning in the first quarter, but they have found their stride and they are excelling.
Well, Sequoyah couldn't miss in the beginning of the first quarter. Everything they threw up went in the basket. It's not happening now, and that's giving an opportunity for Etowah to crawl back into this one. Wally's still only with 10 points. I know we say only, but he got those 10 points relatively quickly. Keener hot on his heels with 9 points. But look at Devonish, he's got 10 points as well.
Yeah, and on that last possession, you were talking about how Mitchell put the shot up really early. He had an open shot, but if you're Sequoyah with a lead like that, you want to try to find the best shot possible.
Yeah, I think this 4-5 record for Etowah is a little bit misleading. They're definitely a better team than that record would indicate. Keener going to lead the troops down the floor. Parker flashes in the paint. He's trying to get Wally open. Parker gets open himself. Three-pointer a little long as the shots have stopped falling for Sequoyah. Devonish, nobody on him again. Drives in the paint. And a nice look inside in a basket by Kyle Tipper. And it's a 5-point ball game. 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Shot clock is off.
The Chiefs need a shot here. Haven't gotten one in a while.
Keener misses the three-point attempt. Now on the putback, it rattles around and in. Great job there for Sequoyah to close out the first quarter by Tyson Darby as he lays it up and in and makes it a 29-22 ball game. What an exciting first quarter, Max.
Yeah, we obviously saw that Chiefs team came out hot in that, honestly, the first like 5 minutes. But then the Etowah team, after the timeout, they collected themselves. Sequoyah kind of seemed to rush their shots, and Etowah capitalized on every single opportunity they had, and that made a 7-point game. It's been very impressive how they've regathered themselves.
Yeah, a great job by Etowah to come back to within single digits. They were down 21-7 at one point, I think 23-7 at another. Sequoyah had done an excellent job of putting them on their heels, but a big run to close out the first quarter for the Etowah Eagles. Let's see if Sequoyah can rally and start getting some of those shots to fall again.
Yeah, and it wasn't really anyone. Well, it definitely was Devonish, but it was kind of the whole team. The whole team kind of came alive with shots here and there, and it added up, obviously, to a close game now.
So hopefully an exciting first quarter carries in and makes an exciting second quarter. So Tyson Darby, the junior forward, makes an appearance towards the end of the first quarter.
And that was a much-needed shot. The Chiefs hadn't scored in a while. To finally stop that run that Etowah was on, that was a very important late first quarter shot.
Yeah, a big bucket, because we saw once Sequoyah found out they were going cold, they were trying to force it a little bit more, and a lot of long shots that didn't fall. We saw Fisher Mitchell try to make a move. He was all by himself down low, and he forced a shot before he assessed the situation. So we start the second quarter. Nice move inside. Another great pass by Hughes for Eder. 5-point ball game, 15 seconds into the second. Keener in trouble. He picks up his dribble. He finds Parker. Parker drives the lane. A nice layup attempt, no good. Trainer picks up the rebound. Now back out to Keener. Keener fires a three-pointer and buries it.
And the member of the 1,000-point club will always hit those. You can't let him get free.
Some excellent ball movement by Sequoyah to get him open, and a nice block by Parker. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds, though. So Mitchell checking back in for Sequoyah. I've been really impressed by Reichsteiner's passing ability. He has really threaded the needle for Etowah.
He's obviously an athlete, but his IQ of the game is unbelievable. He's an impressive basketball player. He visited Michigan. He is a astounding athlete.
It's clear he knows where he's supposed to be on the floor. Big block by Kyle Keener. Keener getting it done on both ends of the floor. Parker almost mishandles it. Goes baseline now over to Mitchell, who finds Wally. Wally back over to Keener. Keener gets a look inside, but has to kick back out to Parker. Nice look inside for Trainer. Trainer tries to put one up, and it's going to be blocked by Hughes.
And he was being as physical as possible. When you have Hughes on you, there's really nowhere you can go.
6:33 left to go in the second, 32-24. It's an 8-point game here at the War Lodge. Devonish slows it down a little bit. Gets it back at the top of the key. It's down low from Netter. He shoots it, no good. Rebound by Parker. Parker kicks it out to Kyle Keener, and here come the Chiefs. Keener in trouble. He picks up his dribble, finds Mitchell. Parker not able to penetrate. Nice steal there by Reichsteiner, and he'll go all the way to the house and lay it up and in.
As we were saying earlier, Reichsteiner is an impressive player. And the Chiefs are just collapsing under the pressure right now. Only a 6-point deficit for the Eagles.
Keener traveled with the ball trying to set up a shot. Nice head fake, but a little bit too much foot movement. So with 5:46 left to go in the first half, Sequoyah still leading 32-26, but Etowah hot on their heels. As Reichsteiner getting worked on by Keener, leaves that one back for Weaver. Weaver over to the point guard. Another nice pass bounced off Stephen Galvin, so it'll stay Etowah basketball. And out for three, nailed it. What a shot by Angelakos. The sophomore shooting guard pulls him back to within three as he cuts Sequoyah's lead in half.
And he might not be the player that does everything on the court, but one thing he does really well is hit those threes. Something you can always rely on with Angelakos.
Heavy defensive pressure by Etowah. Keener picked up his dribble. Baseline drive, nice pass over to Mitchell. Mitchell, no good as he has gone ice cold after a hot start. Nice drive to the basket by Reichsteiner, but no good. I'm not so sure one of the Chiefs didn't get a hand on it. Still a 3-point game, 32-29 with 4:40 left to go in the first half. Wally with a step back jumper, no good as it goes off the side of the backboard. Harris with the rebound, gets it over to Keener. Keener with a nice move inside and lays it up and in.
Faked the pass off of his hip. Got a decent amount of people, and that wasn't a travel either. He stayed in the air during all of that. Impressive.
Sequoyah back out to a 5-point lead, 4:15 left to go in the half. The scoring has slowed down a little bit, but the intensity has not. A deep three-pointer for Angelakos. Oh my word, he shot that one from Town Lake Parkway.
That was from like Mars. That was a world away shot, but he drilled it.
A 2-point game for the Etowah Eagles, 3:50 left to go in the first half. This game has been as advertised. Keener trying to direct the troops. Etowah has overcome a 23-7 deficit. Keener definitely got away with a double dribble, but Harris fires up a three-pointer, no good as it clangs off the iron. 3:30, Devonish has the ball, steps in, fires one from the free throw line, no good. Wally with the rebound for the Chiefs. 3:25 left to go, still a 2-point game. Fisher Mitchell fires one from deep, no good. Rebound taken by Reichsteiner, who flew in.
They're forcing shots, Chase. And they really have nothing to panic. They still have the lead. There's really nothing to panic about.
Reichsteiner flew in from the other side of the court to get that rebound. What an athletic play. And it's a tie ball game.
Now they need to panic.
As Mason Eder ties it up, 34-34, 3 minutes left to go in the half. Nice move by Keener, not so sure he didn't take a few steps with it.
Yeah, it could have been a charge, could have been a walk. No whistles though.
Reichsteiner has his pocket picked, but is able to get it right back. As he gets it over to Eder, who fires a deep three, and Sequoyah loses the lead for the first time tonight, and Coach Carden is not a happy camper. Etowah with their first lead of the ball game, 37-34.
And Sequoyah just hasn't been hitting their shots. We were saying it earlier how Sequoyah is not taking advantage of every possession, and they're kind of putting up not lousy shots, but just shots that weren't worth taking.
But it's shots that were falling at the beginning of the game. You know,
Yes.
we mentioned that several times. I said, I hope they're not. I hope they're not wasting all their good shots in the first quarter of the game. And it appears they got so hot they just started firing up these low percentage shots, thinking they were on fire and going to make everything, and they're not. So Sequoyah needs to go ahead and slow this down and get back on track.
Yeah, and those early shots kind of set the tone for like, okay, these are the shots we can make. And they kept on trying to shoot them, but those are difficult shots to make 24/7 in a basketball game. So them shooting the shots and not hitting them, that provides less opportunity to score when those are low percentage shots.
Etowah has come out all over the Chiefs since that hot start to the first quarter. 2:30 left to go in the first half, and Sequoyah staring down a 3-point deficit for the first time tonight. Parker one-on-one with Angelakos, who's shot a few of them all the way from 92, and a bad pass, a foul. A foul on Matthew Traynor.
Wow, I thought he was going for the ball.
Yeah, that was an interesting call for sure. So an opportunity for Etowah to get a bigger lead with 2:10 left to go in the first half. Devonish, another corner three, no good. Rebound taken by Harris. Pushed ahead for Parker. And another errant pass. Harris with a chance to fire a three-pointer, and he buries one home and makes it an even game with 1:52 left to go.
That's a
37 to 37.
It's a very significant shot right there. The Chiefs needed something to go their way, hadn't scored in a decent amount of time.
Devonish is fouled on his way to the hoop, and that's going to be on Parker. So Cam Harrington was out on the court for a few minutes as he will check back out. Harris, Wally, Trainer, Keener, and Parker on the floor for the Chiefs right now. Angelakos, if he makes that, he is on fire. He doesn't. The ball will go out of bounds and stay Etowah basketball. We saw Angelakos hit that one earlier. The sophomore, I'm certain it came all the way from Town Lake Parkway. Nice inside move for the Eagles. Easy layup for Joshua Hughes, the senior. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Chiefs ball, but 1:31 left to go. And this is not how we thought this ball game was going to go. Sequoyah jumped all over Etowah to begin with, and Etowah now with a 2-point lead with 90 seconds left to go in the half.
Yeah, not at all. But Etowah's just going after everything. They're playing like balls to the walls. They're putting everything at Sequoyah, going after every ball.
Pass to Trainer, the multi-sport athlete fires it down to the low post for Harris. Nice post move and lays it up and in, and we're back tied at 39. 1 minute left to go. Eder takes it, he's out on the wing. Gets it over to Hughes. Hughes fires a long two-pointer and knocks it down. 52 seconds left to go, 41-39 in favor of Etowah. So the team from the south side of the county has a defensive breakdown, and Parker uncontested to the basket and fouled on the back end of the shot. So he has a chance for a three-point play. That will give Sequoyah a 1-point lead, but right now it's 41-41. 39 seconds left to go in the half.
Fouls on. Big Josh Hughes of the Eagles. I think it's his first of the night, and he comes out for Aiden Weaver.
Want to thank everybody for joining us on Chiefs TV. And Parker converts on the three-point play. Sequoyah back out to a 1-point lead. 39 seconds left to go in the first half of what has been a pleasure to call, that's for sure.
An entertaining matchup, nonetheless. Sequoyah jumped out to an early lead. Obviously, now Etowah thundered back.
Tipper had that one poked away. It'll stay Etowah basketball as it goes into the bleachers. Eder sends it back for Reichsteiner. The junior guard, who has had an excellent first half, pulls up in the paint, lays it up and in, and a beautiful layup to put the Eagles ahead 43-42 with a 1-point lead.
A beauty of a hook, a beauty, wow.
18 seconds left to go. Clock down to 12. Keener taking his time, Sequoyah doing some clock management, trying to get the last shot. 6 seconds left. Keener picks up his dribble, has to get it over to Harris. Harris has to get the shot off. Turnaround jumper contested, no good. And we will go into the break with Etowah holding on to a 1-point lead. Your score at the end of the first half, Etowah 43, Sequoyah 42. Max, what do you think about that first half?
That was an entertaining half, Chase. I'm glad we're here to call this one. You're right. Sequoyah, we know Sequoyah had that lead, and we were saying it earlier, they were setting the tone with their shots. That Wally coming out, like all those threes, all those low percentage shots, they were setting the tone like, okay, those shots are the shots we're going to take this game. And in the middle of that first half, that kind of came back to bite them, because then they lost steam, like you said, and they weren't hitting those shots. And Etowah took full advantage of that and came back full of steam too.
Well, and the problem was Sequoyah didn't look like they were adjusting for that. It looks like they just
stick to the game plan.
They stuck to the game plan of firing up these crazy shots because they were falling in the first half. And Etowah put together an excellent game plan that included some mind-blowing passes. They did a great job of threading the needle, getting the ball inside, and some wide open looks in the paint. And Sequoiah's defense was unprepared for some of the inside looks that Etowah was throwing at them.
Yeah, and Reichsteiner's passes, his athleticism driving to the goal has been thoroughly impressive. He is a amazing specimen of a basketball player. I'm excited to see what he does in the second half. But anyways, that was an amazing first half.
So your score at the end of the first half, Etowah on top of Sequoyah, 43-42. We will be right back after a short break. I see Susanna coming up here right now. She's going to join us in the booth momentarily, so we will be right back in a few moments. We said we'd be back momentarily, and boy, we were not kidding. Joining me in the booth, senior Susanna Rogers. Susanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Big win for the girls today here against Etowah. It seems like you guys, we talk about this a lot. I talked about this with Aaron earlier in the year. It seems like you guys are able to create a lot of turnovers on the other side of the court.
Yes. I think it's very important. We practice defense a lot. So I think our aggressiveness as a team and just communicating is very key, and it allows us to get a lot of steals and turnovers.
Yeah, is that something you guys practice, or are you just naturally ball hawks anticipating the passing lanes?
I think some of us are naturally good at it, but it's definitely something we harp on in practice. Like I said, just being aggressive and communicating helps side, and when we see those steals, we definitely go for it.
Yeah, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak now after taking down Etowah. What's going to be the key to keeping that momentum going down the next few games?
I definitely think chemistry, like in practice, we got to continue our communication as a team, and sharing the ball, I think, is a big key. Having confidence in knocking down those shots when we're open is also something that's very important going forward.
So how are you savoring this senior season of basketball? I know this is your last year here in the War Lodge. How are you kind of taking that all in?
Definitely just enjoying every moment. It's my last ride, so it's kind of bittersweet for me, but just enjoying every moment of that, having fun, and just remember all the memories that will come eventually.
But it's not the final chapter in your basketball career, is it?
Yeah. Well, yes. I don't think so. I would like to play in the next level. I don't know where that will be, but I have a few narrowed down decisions that I have to make in the future soon.
Well, that is excellent to hear. How do you feel that Coach Yarbrough and the Sequoyah Chiefs program is preparing you to play at the next level?
I think they're just confident in my abilities as a player and as a leader. I think they've just always trusted me to carry the ball and to lead the team. So that really means a lot to me, and it gives me confidence that I can play at the next level. You
guys played really well with River Ridge in the first half of that game, but it seems like it just kind of seemed like you guys maybe ran out of steam in the second half or just had a hard time down the stretch. But the first half showed that you guys could really play with them. What are some of the keys that you've taken away from that game to try and maybe get over the hump and capture a region title this year?
Yeah, that was definitely a good game in the first half, but it didn't last in the second half like you said. But I think just defensive rebounds is a big thing for that, because we got out-rebounded in the second half, and continue to encourage each other, stay positive even though when things aren't going right on offense. I think that's the biggest key, is communicating, working as a team, and staying positive.
What's been your favorite memory of playing basketball here at Sequoyah?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of great memories growing up watching the Chiefs here when I was little, and I don't know, I think the buzzer beaters that I've hit a few times, it's crazy to see everyone at the end cheer, so I think that's awesome.
From our line of work, we love the buzzer beaters. I don't know if you got a chance to see that boys game against Centennial, but all three of us were losing our minds up here in the booth. And for an old man like me, it really hurt my heart to kind of have to see us go down like that. But Susanna, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck from the rest of the season, and we hope to hear soon about a college commitment.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes, it'll come soon, I promise.
So congratulations once again, and thank you for joining us here in the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break here before we come back to catch the second half of the boys game. Once again, your score from the War Lodge, Sequoyah trailing Etowah 43-42 after some fireworks in the first half. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the War Lodge at Sequoyah High School for the second half of what has been a fantastic ball game between Etowah and Sequoyah. Etowah clinging to a 1-point lead, 43-42, but it was not for a lack of trying. They came back from a 23-7-point deficit, ended the first quarter on a huge run, and took the lead in the second quarter. Now here we are with an Etowah lead to go into the second half. I am Chase Shafer. Thank you for joining us on Chiefs TV. With me is Max Swain, my color analyst for the evening. Max, what a great first half.
Yeah, it was a very impressive first half by Etowah to come back with an impressive passing performance, and their shots fell heavy in that latter part of the first half, second quarter, I guess you would call it. But for Sequoyah, I'm hoping for them to take advantage of their shot, of every shot they have, not waste shots like we kind of saw from them that first half. Yeah.
One of the exciting things about this ball game, it's been pretty clean. There's not a lot of fouls. There's a couple guys who have a foul apiece, but for the most part, nobody's really in a pretty ugly third quarter.
And it makes it even more fun to watch because you get to see everyone play to their full potential, not trying to not foul because they have too many. It's going to be a thriller, hopefully, in the War Lodge.
So Sequoyah going to start with the basketball. Inbound to Keener. He's got 13 points from the first half. Wally has 10. Inside look to Fisher Mitchell. He gets tied up in the back out to Netter, who gives it into Hughes. Hughes with a nice spin move on Mitchell. And Etowah strikes first in the second half, stretching the lead out to 3.
And Joshua Hughes, can move. For how big he is, he can move.
Mitchell in trouble there for a second. He was able to find Parker. Keener gets the ball, sends it out to Dylan Wally. Wally steps back over to Keener, who's got a good look at the basket. No good as it rattles around the iron. Right, Steiner gets it down to the corner for Devonish as he steps on the out-of-bounds line. Sequoyah will get the ball back with 7:10 left to go in the third quarter. Wally thinks about the three, second guesses, drives in, and a nice two-point shot inside the key from Dylan Wally. He'll start the scoring in the second half for the Chiefs, 45-44.
And that was a good sign, Chase. He thought about that shot, but I think he realized that he was wasting a shot. That was like 5 seconds, pardon me, like 2 seconds into that possession. Decided to drive for a higher percentage shot.
Angelakos, another deep three-pointer, and he drains it again. Angelakos on fire. The sophomore guard from beyond the arc gives Etowah their biggest lead of the night with 48-44, 6:30 left to go in the third. Parker trying to return fire, and he does, and he pulls it back to within 1 for the Chiefs. Back and forth we go. Where we stop, who knows? 6:20 left to go. Devonish, a good look at a three-pointer, and he hits that one off the front of the iron. Mitchell down to the floor, able to get the pass off to Wally. And Sequoyah able to get on the right side of the court. Keener tried a nice move inside, no good. He has to kick it back out to Fisher Mitchell. Mitchell for 3! And Sequoyah back out front by 2, 50-48.
We are starting the second half just like we started the first.
Angelakos wide open, and he nails another one. Sequoyah left him wide open, and Angelakos burned him.
And Sequoyah seems super frustrated because they can't seem to guard him. But just like that first half, started off with the rapid-fire points, the second half has not changed.
Dimitri Angelakos, the sophomore shooting guard, he is good at that job. 51-50 Etowah as he buried another three-pointer, 15 points on the night, all of them from beyond the arc.
I said it earlier in the first half. He might not be the player that goes all around the court making huge plays, but he can make the threes in clutch times. And up to 15 points, 5 threes has boosted this Etowah team, especially in the second half.
A huge shooting moment for Angelakos. Etowah back on top by 1, 51-50. I don't know how Sequoyah didn't have a body on him. He has burned them so many times this game. It is unfathomable that he would be that wide open over on that side of the court. And Max, he's not shooting with his tippy toes on the line. He is shooting deep three-point shots.
We saw that one back there. You said it was from Town Lake. It was true.
He is a la Steph Curry here with some of these three-point shots. It is absolutely silly to watch him fire up these three-pointers from almost another area code. But we are in for a treat here. 5:46 left to go in the third. Etowah up 51-50. both teams exchanging the lead a few times, as this game is everything we hoped it would be and then some.
And after all those points, it's still a 1-point game.
Wally with a deep three-point shot. No good off the front of the post. Devonish in a foot race. He'll win that all the way back to the basket. No good. Wally fouled him going to the rim.
Wally sprinted. He came with lots of effort. He sped down the floor, but Devonish, he showed his speed there. Wow, he was speeding ahead.
Yeah, Devonish track meted him on that one. Now an opportunity to put Etowah back up by 3, but Wally's first foul of the night.
Yeah, so exactly like you were saying, entering the second half, not everyone has a lot of fouls. The most someone has on the floor right now is 2, and we're in the middle of the third quarter.
Devonish sinks both, and that's a 3-point lead for Etowah.
So we're going to get to see these players that have highlighted this game so far play throughout, hopefully.
Mitchell back at the top of the key, has to give it back to Keener. Keener goes into the paint. He's in trouble. Dishes it out to Wally. Wally loses the basketball. Going to be picked up by Reichsteiner. And Devonish back to the hoop. No good. Not quite enough sauce on that one. Keener, uncontested three-pointer, and he knocks it down. And we're all tied up at 53 with 4:55 left to go in the third.
Keener up to 16 on the night. The newly joined member of the 1K club is showing off his skills.
Angelakos for 3, no good. A close miss for Angelakos, who his misses have been few and far between, but it stays a 53-53 game with 4:30 left to go in the third quarter.
And that Wally-Rechsteiner matchup is a matchup to watch because they are both athletic, amazing players.
Keener gets it out to Mitchell. Uncontested three-pointer, a little too much on it. Nice rebound by Trainer as he puts it back up and in. So Sequoyah with the lead, 55-53, 4:10 left to go in the third quarter. Max, we are Chiefs TV, so we know a little bit more about Sequoyah, and we know that this team is battle-tested considering, some of the games they've been in this year. The River Ridge game, the Centennial game. Not so sure Wally didn't get a hand on that ball as it falls a little short and goes off the iron. Wally with a nice shot on a three-pointer. Too much on it as it bounces off the back of the iron. Keener tries to pick it up. Now it's 2-on-1 as Reichsteiner tried to lay it up and in. No good. And now we've got a track meet. Inside look to Trainer, who kicks it out to Wally. Wally with a deep three-pointer. No good. Oh, it rattles around and off. It looked like it might redirect back in. And Preston Parker going to have to be careful. He's going to pick up a reaching call if he does that too many times.
This game was moving very fast pace.
Nice pass. Oh, swatted away by Dylan Wally. Hughes didn't know he was there. Pass inside to Trainer. Trainer with a move inside. No good. Keener with the offensive rebound with authority off the front of the glass. Keener with another rebound and a third time's a charm. Sequoyah walks it back out to a 4-point lead.
And Keener is energized. He is feeling himself.
Great set there by Keener.
He's up to 18 on the night. That's his average.
Devonish drives in, goes down to the floor. Fisher Mitchell picks up the foul.
Yeah, he lowered the arms there in a swat. It's going to be called every time. He's got to watch that.
Devonish already with 12 will go to the charity stripe for 2. And a chance to cut this Sequoyah lead in half with 2:46 left to go. Chiefs on top, 57-53.
And Chase, you were saying earlier that we have witnessed 2 thrillers in the War Lodge in the past 2 weeks against Centennial and River Ridge. But Sequoyah lost both of those. So if you're Coach Carden, obviously you want to get ahead, but you don't want to bring this down to the wire and have to win it there because they're 0 for 2 on thriller games.
Second free throw is good. First one was not. That makes it a 3-point ball game. 2:46 left to go in the third. He sank both of them, I'm sorry. So it's a 2-point game, 57-55, 2:35 left to go. Sequoyah. Ball movement around the top of the key. Back to Parker. Parker with a nice inside look and lays it up. Oh, it was so close, wasn't there, but Parker gets his own rebound. Ball's free, picked up by Wally. To the corner for Connor Harris. Oh, so close, but not quite enough. 2:15 left to go. An opportunity now for Etowah to tie it up or take the lead as they are down 57-55. And a pull-up jumper from the free throw line is buried by Reichsteiner. And we're back to a tie game.
Yeah, Eder bumped into Trainer. That's going to be called every time. But Reichsteiner, we haven't seen many points from him, but he has been a presence on this court. His passing, his assists, he is just an athletic player that can do anything on the basketball court.
An aggressive move to the basket by Trainer draws the foul. Harris, as he is guarded heavily by Weaver. Weaver gets a steal for the Eagles. And he is knocked over by Harris. And that will draw the ire of the official. So a tie game, 57-57, a minute 54 left to go in the third quarter. Max, can you believe there's still a whole quarter left to go in this game?
There's still a whole quarter. It seems like we've been here for ages in an amazing basketball game, but I'd rather stay here forever because this is an entertaining game to witness.
Reichsteiner's shot's no good. Wally feeds Keener. Keener drives the lane and loses the basketball.
And it's another tie game.
A big turnover there for Sequoyah. They had a chance on a fast break to get some points, but a mishandled basketball by Keener gives the ball back to the Eagles as we creep up on 90 seconds left to go in the third period. Surprised Angelakos didn't shoot it from there. As he dishes it back out to Eder. Eder for Angelakos, drives in. His first shot from inside the arc tonight is no good. As we're probably witnessing a miracle as he's missed 2 shots in a row. Good inside look to Trainer, and Trainer picks up a charge.
It's going to be Eder on the charge, a very smart move there.
So 2 times in a row, Sequoyah's wasted an opportunity going down the floor.
That gives Trainer his second on the night. As Reichsteiner goes out for Hughes. Pardon me, Reichsteiner went out for Kyle Tipper. But Eder goes out for Hughes.
Got a Jonah Hamilton sighting here for the Eagles as he checks into the game, the senior point guard. And a good look inside for Hughes, has the ball swatted away by Trainer. And he will pick up his 3rd foul of the evening. No, he didn't. It stayed inside.
Travel.
This is a travel. Wally with a wide open 3, and he drains it. Sequoyah back up by 3, 43 seconds left to go in the third. Ivanis drives to the basket. And a floor foul on Parker.
And actually, Chase, this is a little bit irrelevant, but I see Brandon Pierce and Grant Partera from the River Ridge Knights sitting over there in the crowd, witnessing two fellow Cherokee County teams fight it out here in the War Lodge.
Yep, that's them over there, all right. I know they're the Pierce family enjoys watching our games whenever River Ridge visits over here, so we thank them for watching whenever they get a chance to join us on Chiefs TV. Another big fan of all things Cherokee County sports, Vaughn Brown checking in as a nice move to the basket and a 3-point opportunity for Mason Eder as he was whacked on the top of the head.
And the fouls have added up for Sequoyah this quarter as Etowah, is in bonus.
Pierce had some big plays in that River Ridge game that got wiped away by penalties.
He did.
He had
you remember that
shot block.
block?
There's still a dent in the cinder block over there from where he smacked that ball. As Eder completes a 3-point play, and we are tied at 60 apiece. Final moments of the third quarter. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds left. Sequoyah's done a fantastic job of clock management towards the end of each period. Sequoyah will be glad to get out of here and get a reset on the fouls. 10 seconds left. Taking their time. An inside look, 2 seconds left, turnaround jumper by Trainer, and he drains it! Matthew Trainer He throws the football around, and he throws the basketball around. 62-60 at the end of the third quarter. Sequoyah will go into the final frame with a 2-point lead.
And that shot must have had some effort on it, because right as that shot went in, a light went out next to us. So Trainer shooting lights out here to end off the third quarter. But that was a big shot, because now they happily go into the fourth quarter with motivation and momentum.
Yeah, let's hope they carry that momentum here into the fourth quarter. This game has been tooth and nail ever since the end of the first quarter. Sequoyah stepped out to a big lead, but Etowah said, oh, no, you don't, and came back really quick and even hung a pretty, a 4-point lead on Sequoyah at one point. But since then, it has been back and forth, even with these fouls that Sequoyah picked up in the third quarter. They're going to have to be a little careful here in the fourth quarter. Nobody really in foul trouble yet, but that doesn't mean they can start playing sloppy. Still 8 minutes of basketball left to play here at the War Lodge in Cherokee County. We thank you all who have joined us on Chiefs TV. Want to remind you real quick before we miss the opportunity, this weekend, the War Lodge Invitational. Be a bunch of games on Friday and Saturday. We will bring you all the games from inside the War Lodge here at Sequoyah High School. So if you're watching and your team is a team that's going to be participating in that event, we will bring you all the action from the War Lodge games here on Chiefs TV. There will be some other games over at Sequoyah East, but the ones played here in the main gymnasium will be broadcast out live on chiefstv.org as we get ready to step in
A
and
big
strap
fourth quarter
in for the fourth quarter.
Basically 2-0 on the scoreboard. And 8 minutes of basketball to play. That's right,
Etowah
Chase, strap
ball.
in.
Inbounded to Hamilton. Etowah feeling Sequoyah out. Hughes back over to Devonish. And a three-point shot, no good by Reichsteiner. Offensive rebound, it goes up and in. And we're back tied after Eder lays it off the glass and through the twine. 62-62. Nice move by Parker. He has to kick it back out to Keener. Keener inside to Fisher Mitchell. Keener gives it back to Mitchell, who fires a three-pointer, and it's good! The big man with a big shot pushes Sequoyah back out to a three-point lead.
And Mitchell has taken a lot of threes tonight. Doesn't normally do that against, but this, yeah, that's right. He has taken a lot of threes, and he's made a decent amount of them, up to 11 tonight.
Hamilton on the wing has to give it back over to Devonish. Devonish retreats, hands it off to Reichsteiner. Reichsteiner runs into the trap, trying to cut into the paint. Thinks he has a lane he likes, lays it up, no good, as Mitchell chases down the rebound for the Chiefs. Here comes Parker. Now back out to Mitchell for Wally. Wally gonna go baseline. Over to Parker. Parker with a nice move, steps in and buries a two-point shot.
And Sequoyah's lead up to 5 now. They want to pull away as quick as possible because they don't want to get into a close one late.
Driving the lane and dropping that one in is Devonish. So it's a three-point game, 67-64. Sequoyah on top of Etowah in a back-and-forth game. Keener out to Mitchell. Mitchell tries to go baseline. It's not there. Stolen by Devonish. Eagles with a chance to tie it up. Hamilton with the basketball in the head fake. Reichsteiner with a long two-point shot. Too much sauce on it as it bounces off the back of the iron. Devonish, uncontested three-pointer, rattles around, no good. Gets his own rebound, pulls up for a two. He's fouled and sinks the shot.
And that was they found a hole in Sequoyah's rebounding right there in that possession. 3 or 4 shot attempts, I'm pretty sure.
So another foul for Wally. 5:50 left to go and a chance to tie it up for Devonish, the senior point guard. No good, it toilet bowls out, and Sequoyah clinging to a 1-point lead with 5:45 left to go in the fourth quarter. Mitchell with the ball. Wally fires a deep three-point shot, it's good! 70-66, 5.5 minutes left to go. Big three by Wally. Driving to the basket and laying it in is Reichsteiner.
He's a phenomenal player.
Sequoyah up by 2. Wally wide open and he buries another one!
Wow.
Dylan Wally. 5:12 left to go. Sequoyah walking it out to a 73-68 lead.
Wally is eating up right now.
Hamilton drives into the basket, puts the shot up, lays it up and in. 70-73, 5 minutes left.
Etowah isn't backing down. They're making their shots too. Might not be as explosive as Wally's threes, but they're still making points every possession.
Keener tried to find some room baseline, had to take it all the way back out to the top. And a foul on Dewan Devonish. As we want to give a shout out to one of our viewers who's enjoying this game with us as well, Mike Mejia. We want to say thank you to him. He is a longtime supporter of Chiefs TV. You can usually count on him for some good analysis in the comments section. Mitchell with a nice post move, gets it back out to Wally. Fires it over to Kyle Keener, who drains a big three-point shot, and Sequoyah out to a 6-point lead, 76-70, with still plenty of time left in the game for Etowah.
Keener and Wally both up to 21 points. Phenomenal games by both of these seniors.
Back out to Reichsteiner. Devonish at the top of the key. Angelakos from the parking lot nails another deep three-pointer for the Eagles. How does he keep doing that? Etowah calls a timeout after Angelakos hits another one from another area code. What a big shot for the sophomore.
I don't know how he got on a spaceship that fast, went to Mars, and then had the time to line up the shot and shoot the ball. He is a magical player, and he's up to 18 points. 6 threes on the night for Angelakos. I am stunned.
Folks, thank you for tuning in here on Chiefs TV. This has been a fantastic game. 3-point advantage now for the Chiefs, 76-73, 4:09 left to go. Look at these scores over here on the scoreboard. You've got 18 for Devonish, 16 for, who's that, Metter, 18 for Angelakos. All of those have been 3-point shots, by the way. Parker's got 12, Wally's got 21, Keener's got 21, and Fisher Mitchell coming in with 11.
And I think Mitchell should be very proud of his performance tonight. The past couple games, he's focused mostly on his down-low game. Hasn't really clicked for him, but with a mix of both against Etowah tonight, it's really helped him get on the scoreboard.
This has been a back-and-forth slugfest here at the War Lodge. Both teams not willing to go quietly into that good night. As Fisher Mitchell lays it up and in, stretches it back out to a 5-point lead, 78-73. 3:52 left to go in the ball game. Reichsteiner has it over to Devonish. He drives in. Nice pass to Metter. Metter's shot is blocked by Mitchell. Gets his own rebound. Mitchell blocks him again. Now Mitchell gets tied up down in the paint, and it'll be Sequoyah basketball.
A big man play from Fisher Mitchell there. Blocks the shot, blocks it again, gets the rebound, and tracks the foul from Weaver and Eder. Mitchell, a crucial play.
Mitchell inbounds the ball to Keener.
But there's still 3.5 minutes left, Chase. Anything can happen.
3:32 to be exact, 78-73. Sequoyah with a 5-point lead. As the scoring has been hot, wide open at the top is Fisher Mitchell. Fisher drains another three-pointer! 81-73, and Sequoyah is stepping on the gas as Mitchell scores his 16th point of the night. And a foul called on Sequoyah. Didn't catch the number of the offender. Ball inbounded by Eder. Makes its way to Reichstein. Reichsteiner drives to the basket. That one's tipped by Wally. Angelakos thinking about it. He fires a long shot and knocks it down.
And now he has made something besides a three.
Barely. He shot that one from just inside the line, and his first 2-point shot of the night takes him to 20 points. Angelakos with a big night for the Eagles. Parker over to Keener, 81-75, 2:40 left to go in the ball game. Big move by Keener as he runs in, and they're going to call a travel as he ran into Weaver. And a big turnover and a big opportunity for Etowah to pull back to within striking distance of this Sequoyah team. They can cut it in half with a 3-point shot. 6-point lead, 81-75. 2:23 left to go. Deep three-pointer by Reichsteiner, no good. Rebound by Matthew Trainer, a big physical rebound. He's the safety and the quarterback on the football team, no stranger to physicality, and Coach Carden wants to take a minute to talk about it. So with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the ball game, we've got a timeout, 81-75, a 6-point game.
There was that run there, Chiefs. There was a run there, Chase, where the Chiefs and the Eagles exchanged threes for at least 18 points in between them. That was insane and very entertaining to watch. But the Eagles need to get a stopper here and need to get scores quickly because they can't have the 6-point lead go down continue as the clock keeps on running.
What a game. I mean, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Max, I don't know how much more we can do this year. These close games.
I'm worried about your heart, Chase. I'm worried.
I'm worried about it too. Definitely took the blood pressure medication this morning.
But let's look at that scoreboard again. 18, 17, and 20 for Etowah. 21, 21, 16, and 12 for Sequoyah. Lighting up the scoreboard. Insane, honestly.
It's a high-scoring affair. There's still 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. As hot as both of these teams are right now, we could easily hit 90.
We could, easily.
As both teams just punching and counter-punching.
Thrilling to watch.
As the haymakers, both of these Cherokee County teams have been throwing at each other, has been stellar. And here we go, 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. Both teams have 2 timeouts, so 4 timeouts still available. 2:05 left to go in the ball game, 81-75. Keener taking his time, watching the shot clock creep down to 15. Changes direction, now back out to Fisher Mitchell, who is fouled by Angelakos. And Angelakos picks up his first foul of the evening. So other than that third quarter, Max, it's been a pretty clean game. Sequoyah got a little sloppy in the third quarter, but we're able to come back from it pretty well, and everybody's still free and on the floor.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Besides that third quarter, it's been pretty clean. Maybe like 5-6 fouls overall by both teams.
Pass picked off by Devonish. Devonish juking and jiving, and that one's rejected by Kyle Keener.
Wow. Parker absolutely mauled that ball. He had a grip on that ball for the whole time Devonish was in the air.
Out of bounds. And Etowah basketball under the hoop, 1:38 left to go. Sequoyah not out of the woods yet. Etowah still with a chance. Great defensive play there by Kyle Keener. Lob pass inside for Hughes. Hughes with the teardrop, no good. It goes off the front of the rim, and there's a foul called. That's on Fisher Mitchell. That's his third.
I wouldn't be too worried. 1:35 left. He should still be playing at his full effort, especially in a tight game like this.
Hughes with a chance to shoot a pair. No good on the first.
That's a big miss right there. All points need to be taken advantage of for Etowah if they want to make this game close right now.
Hughes with 6 on the night. Chance to make that 7 and pull his team back to within 5. And no good from 15 feet away, and a foul as Angelakos fouls Fisher Mitchell. Is Etowah trying to get Sequoyah to the free throw line with 1:33 left to go and a 6-point lead. And now here comes the 2-2-1 press from the Etowah Eagles. Inbound pass to Parker, to Mitchell. Mitchell's got to get across center court. He finally gets it over to Parker after he picks up his dribble. Mitchell takes the pass, finds Wally. Under the basket is Trainer, and Trainer misses an easy layup attempt. 1:15 left to go. Etowah still with life. It's a 2-possession game. Inside look, laid up, and no good.
Wow.
Big miss there by Weaver and Sequoyah.
That is an unlucky shot there. Maybe one other bounce, maybe it could have gone in, but it just stuck to the back of the rim.
Sequoyah with a very favorable roll off the iron. And they get the ball back with 1:07 left to go. One more foul, and they will be in the bonus. 1:07 left to go. Still 81-75. Etowah not fouling Keener. Keener's got to get across half court. He picks up his dribble on the wrong side of the black line and throws it out of bounds.
And if you're Etowah here, you need a 3. 58 seconds left, down by 6. You don't have that much time for 3 possessions. You need to go for 3 and make it a 3-point ball game.
You know who that sounds like a job for?
Oh, don't tell
Dimitri
me.
Angelakos.
In the corner right now, guarded by Trainer.
Picks up the basketball, gives it right back to Reichsteiner. Reichsteiner loses the basketball, picked up by Parker. 46 seconds left to go. Parker checks up, trying to avoid the foul. Wally is fouled by Weaver, and Sequoyah gonna head to the charity stripe as Wally gets a chance at 1-1. Hughes gonna check back in for Weaver as the very athletic freshman steps off the court for the Eagles. And Wally misses the front end of the 1-1. Etowah basketball, still a 6-point game. 37 seconds left to go. Driving to the basket and laid up and in, and a chance for a 3-point play for Dewan Devonish, the senior point guard. That gets him into the 20-point club, and why not? He's in good company.
With Devonish driving to the goal, the one thing you couldn't do is allow for a 3-point play and make it a 1-possession ball game. But the Chiefs did just that. That is a big play from Devonish, but he needs to make the free throw.
33.6 seconds left. Buries it. 3-point play. 3-point difference, 81-78. As Mitchell gets it to Keener. Keener pushes it ahead to Parker. Parker holding onto the ball, and he is fouled by Devonish. So 25.6 seconds left to go, and back to the free throw line go the Chiefs. Three-point game, 25.6 seconds left. Parker with a chance to make it a 2-possession game. Misses the front end of the 1-1. Sequoyah missing some critical free throws here late in the game. 20 seconds left, 3-point deficit for Etowah. In for Hughes, and he's fouled.
If he had made that shot, that would have been insane. But still, nonetheless, 2 free throws for Hughes. 17.9 seconds remaining.
Hughes missed both of his last free throws. No more shot clock for the rest of the game. Hughes short on the first one.
He was 0 for 2 earlier in this fourth quarter. Now 0 for 3.
Both teams missing some very critical free throws in the final moments of this ball game. Second is good. Etowah going to go ahead and take a timeout with 18 seconds left to go in the ball game. It is a 3-point game.
Another thriller.
2-point game,
Yeah.
81-79. It is a 2-point ball game.
And both teams are close to bonus. The Chiefs are only 2 fouls away from giving Etowah bonus, and the Sequoyah is already in bonus for shooting the free throws themselves. So fouls are going to come into play late in this game.
Yeah, next foul for Etowah puts Sequoyah in the double bonus, which would be huge because Sequoyah's missed the front end of both of their 1-1s.
But then, on the other hand, Sequoyah knows if they do get down, but if they do foul, they know that they can foul Hughes. He's not on the court right now, but he's 1 for 4.
18 seconds left to go in the ball game. Sequoyah holding on to a 2-point lead. Here comes Etowah with the press. Everybody's manned up. 3 guys on the far sideline for Sequoyah. Is Sequoyah going to finally pull it off?
And they foul Dylan Wally, the free throw machine.
Or is this game going to, like the others this year, slip through the fingers of the Sequoyah Chiefs? Wally now going to the line for shooting 2. 17 seconds left. 81-79. For a 3-point lead. Good. Dylan Wally hits the first one from the nail. Second is good. Timeout called by Coach Carden. 4-point lead for the Sequoyah Chiefs. 17 seconds left to go. What else can we say about it, Max?
Well, if you're Etowah, you have to get a shot up fast, and it preferably needs to be a 3 or a quick 2 driving to the lane, and then foul quickly. But I would not foul Wally. We saw him drain those free throws. It's gonna be a difficult road, but Etowah can do it. But Sequoyah just needs to secure a win and make the free throws when Etowah does foul.
You know, no region implications on the line, but an opportunity for Sequoyah to get that close game camel off their back, as they have come up short in several close games. The River Ridge one really slipped away. Sequoyah looking for a chance to be a team that's not only battle-tested, but a battle-tested team that can get the job done. They've done an excellent job here in the fourth quarter. They were leading 62-60 at the end of the third. They stepped on the gas mid-fourth quarter. Etowah has clawed back into it. We're only down by 4 with 17 seconds left. Sequoyah in the double bonus, so anytime they get fouled, they shoot 2. But if they foul Etowah, Etowah goes to the line for a 1-and-1. Both teams missing some big free throws, but Dylan Wally hit the 2 that they really, really needed towards the end of the game.
But Etowah needs to get points on this possession, or the game could be over. This possession is a big one for Etowah and their hopes of winning.
Ball inbounded to Devadish. Drives the length of the court. Step back jumper for 3. It's going to be way short. And the ball will stay Etowah basketball after a big miss by Devadish.
I think someone might have got a hand on that ball. I think Parker might have gotten a hand on that.
Inbound to Devadish. He drives to the basket, lays it up. No good. Rebound taken by Sequoyah, and Fisher Mitchell will be fouled under the basket with 3 seconds left to go. Sequoyah, for the moment, appears to have escaped as they lead 4 points, 83 to 79 with 3.1 seconds left to go.
One free throw should do it here. Mitchell already has 16 points on the night. Here we go.
And first shot no good for Mitchell. Sequoyah still with a 4-point lead, 3 seconds left. Mitchell really needs to sink this free throw. Mitchell sinks it, 5-point game. Timeout taken. So Sequoyah takes its last timeout, 3.1 seconds left to go. 84 to 79. Sequoyah on top of Etowah in what has been a classic here at the War Lodge. I know, Max, it seems like we say that to each other every time we get in this booth. We have called some exciting games up here for boys basketball, and this one did not disappoint.
Not at all, Chase. This one has been another great one. 3 in a row, right? Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, three fantastic basketball games back to back to back. The Centennial game, then the River Ridge game, and now here the Etowah game. Fans, if you want to catch more basketball action here from the War Lodge on Chiefs TV, be sure to tune in Friday afternoon and Saturday all day. We have a smorgasbord of basketball coming up with the War Lodge Invitational. A lot of good teams going to come play here at Sequoyah High School. We will be broadcasting all the games that are played inside the War Lodge. We won't be broadcasting the games over at Sequoyah East. We'll be broadcasting the games here at the War Lodge, all live on Chiefs TV.
And this one seems like it should favor the Chiefs.
So what is seemingly a foregone conclusion, as Reichstein going to take a deep three-point shot as time expires. It's no good. And Sequoyah escapes with a big win here at the War Lodge by a final score of 84 to 79. And Sequoyah gets the close game camel off their back.
That's right, Chase. And it came down to Wally and Keener making huge threes, and the Chiefs overall hitting their shots down the stretch, taking valuable shots that we saw them not try to force the ball into the hoop as often in the second half, and that's honestly what propelled them to this victory. And it was another great performance by Wally and Keener.
Yeah, a great game by Sequoyah and a great finish. You know, they got up early in the first quarter. They were up big on Etowah, 23-7 lead.
At least 14.
As Etowah as Etowah was able to crawl back in and take a 4-point lead at one point in the game. And Sequoyah kept it close. Both teams exchanged the lead. I'd be interested to see how many lead changes there were in this game. Just a very interesting and telling stat. But, player of the game for Sequoyah had to be either Dylan Wally or Kyle Keener. Both of them came up clutch. Keener had a huge defensive play and then came right down the floor and hit a big shot. Wally got hot when it mattered in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter. What can you say? You can pick either one of those guys, but I think the guy that you have to pick for player of the game for Etowah, coming up with some huge three-pointers, is that sophomore Dimitri and Angelakos.
And also, we have to put some appreciation on Fisher Mitchell. He has hit his stride now, 17 points tonight. And the past couple of games, we haven't seen him have that much success on the shots because he mostly has focused, as I was saying earlier, around the third quarter. He was focusing only on his down-low game and kind of his fadeaway shots, but he mixed in threes, and it really brought him success.
You're right. He had a huge game from the perimeter today for the big man. A couple of really good defensive plays as well. A good all-around team effort by the Sequoyah Chiefs team, and a valiant effort by the Etowah Eagles. They definitely could have rolled over and played dead when they got down 23-7, but a huge run to end the first quarter brought it back close, and we had us a game.
Definitely. That was an entertaining game to watch. Glad we got to witness a third one for the boys.
We'll see how many of them are good ones this weekend at the War Lodge Invitational, which you can catch live here on Chiefs TV for all the games in the War Lodge Gym. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Chiefs TV. Your final score from the War Lodge: Sequoyah squeaks out a victory over Etowah, 84-79. I am Chase Shafer. Joining me in the booth is Max Swain, and we will see you all next time here on Chiefs TV.